So I'm Jennifer Fine, and I'm the co-founder of YouLive To Travel. And because our community manager, she's currently in Russia, but she's a digital nomad, so you never know where she's going to be. And I'm based in Melbourne, and our software platform focuses on making it really easy to organize group travel. And I know, Ha, you mentioned that you're looking to build your business plan. And so if you're looking for a really cost-effective place to set up your travel website, we're a really good place to start. So, you know, I don't want this to be all about us. I do want it to be stories from the community as well. But what I wanted to do, because we've been running these for a little while now, I wanted to kind of digest some of the stories that I've been hearing from people in terms of what are we doing, right? We're in the travel industry. There's no travel. So what do we do, right? And I think there's two kind of key strategic decisions that people are making. And one is to pause and breathe, focus on some paperwork, maybe some cleanup on either the administrative side or the technical side, and just plan for the recovery, but basically wait. So that's one strategy that we do find a number of our clients and people that we talk to are doing, and partly that's just out of necessity. But for some people, it's actually a relief, and they're really kind of enjoying the time. You know, as Gina said, she's got the time, and so, you know, taking advantage of that to learn new things or to connect with people you wouldn't have. I mean, I'm on so many calls today with people that would never reached out to me. So there's definitely some upsides there. Then on the other side, what we're finding is that people are exploring kind of digital, online, virtual experiences. So some categories of travel businesses translate into that better than others. Hey, George, welcome. Wait for his audio to connect. So what we've been seeing is that when we talk about virtual experiences or online or digital experiences, if you are delivering an educational product via travel, it's a pretty reasonable transition, because oftentimes the content can be kind of converted to online format. Not as good, but there's still something to deliver there. And we do have clients like Hacker Exchange, who previously would take students overseas to learn about startups. They are now delivering their content virtually. And so they still use our platform to organize the program, but instead of it being 2 weeks in San Francisco, it's 2 weeks wherever you are in the world, and you connect on Zoom for the different activities. So that's one approach, and that can work if educational content's the core of your content and travel was maybe helpful but not the core. Same can be said, kind of retreats are similar in the sense that you can still deliver those virtually through Zoom if you can transition your experience connecting people in person to connecting them online. Not everyone has that skill set, and I have to say I don't think the tools are 100% there yet for that. So, you know, we're sort of seeing that evolve, and we're seeing who kind of can really figure out a winning mechanism to do that. And unfortunately, it's unclear what to charge for that. So we're seeing a lot of companies are actually doing a pay what you can model for those kinds of programs while they figure out, you know, how to price something that is completely virtual, whereas they used to know what to charge when it was an in-person activity. And what we're finding is the final category of just destination tourism, that is the hardest. That in terms of monetizing a virtual experience where the destination was the thing. And what we're finding is that those people who are succeeding at that are basically doing broadcasts. So these would have been your social media influencer type people already. They would have been very good at doing content either on YouTube, Facebook. Some of them are able to monetize either through ad streams or by donations through those programs, so on any of those platforms. But that requires a relatively large audience to already have been built up. So what we haven't seen quite yet is kind of how to take that sort of unique experience that that people get when they travel and turn it into a digital experience that is anywhere near the same level of quality as what people were delivering in the real world. So that's both an opportunity and a challenge, obviously. And so that's why we're continuing to have these conversations to kind of understand what people are exploring and to share with you what we can provide as a technology partner, and also to get feedback on what you'd like us to provide that we don't already. So, so just on that point, so in order to support our customers during this period, we've launched a package called Future Ready. And Future Ready is just $5 a month or $8 Australian a month. It gives you access to about 80% of our premium features, including access to our mobile trip app and the ability to take bookings on your first trip. So if you do want to try out a virtual experience, you can do that. And we really think it's a great opportunity to clean some things up and start actually implementing that technical strategy that you've always been telling yourself you're going to do. So we're here to partner with you on that, and we think the Future Ready package is a great way to do that with us. And of course, if you sign up, we also offer a one-on-one tech consultation to explain to you how we fit into a travel business's tech stack. So that's kind of a really long overview, but I really wanted to kind of distill what I've been absorbing from conversations with people and give that as a frame for the rest of this conversation. I know some of you kind of came in while I was midstream. George, I know you, so we'll get started with you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. You can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, my name's George. I'm currently living in London. I used to work for Intrepid Travel in Melbourne, and now yeah, kind of starting on my own ventures, which is exciting. So I create running experiences and trail running experiences here in the UK, and really promote local experiences and local tourism. So this kind of COVID has kind of fallen into my lap a little bit, because the trend, and definitely to begin with, is definitely going to be a more local. Yeah, people are going to be tending to go more local. So yeah, it's been an interesting period to build.
So I don't know if you guys are seeing this in your neighborhoods, but I'm finding that suddenly everyone's a runner where I live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Strava, the running app to kind of log your runs, has seen like monumental growth, and so yeah, it's been interesting to observe for sure.
Yeah, so I think, you know, that's something to think about during periods like this. It can be a really neat opportunity to launch new products into an audience that's kind of looking for new things, or who might be discovering that they have more time for something that previously didn't make time for. So I hope this creates an opportunity for you to build that audience. And actually, that was the other thing I didn't mention. People are using this time to connect with their audiences and maintain them and kind of build that pent-up demand. So when they are ready to go run somewhere else, the first person they think of is to contact you and book in with you. So I think I'm seeing a lot of that as a sort of marketing trend during this time.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's so key. Yeah, building the community now, while everyone's got time to connect, is key. And it feels normal too, because everyone feels distant. So people want to connect with each other. So
absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'll go through one by one. So Kenny, you're the first one next to my box, so I'll start with you. Let me unmute you. There we go.
I got into the YouLi circle through the Transformation Travel gathering in Leavenworth, where I met Victoria back in January. Like she said, this is the first one I've been able to meet, just because I was trying to, it's 10:30 at night here in Seattle, so this was the first one I was legitimately able to get. I'm a travel writer. I don't have events that I run or like George is talking about, not retreats, but those types of group activities. I'm a writer by trade and by talent. So how I got involved in the transformational travel community that merged me into YouLi was the wanting to go to, say, London and see what was there that was not, you want to have more of the local flavor than with a few of the touristy locations. Like, I'm not going to ignore the tourist locations, but I want to know the area around. When I've spoken to a couple of museums there, they're like, why are you coming here? And I'm like, well, it's some place that I think that I can help the U.S. for instance, I can help the U.S. understand the Great Britain a little bit more by showing them my arc, by getting that off the beaten track, but still not totally ignore the main tourist spots.
And have you found that during this time it's been really hard to get content out there, or is there a new opportunity to get picked up with your writing during this time?
Currently, last week I got the developmental edit back on my book. So it's just been okay. You have to will yourself. You have to get yourself to open up the Word document and start going through the notes, but also you don't want to just dive in and start making edits to her edits. So you really got to put some thinking behind it. So that's just been my deal right now, is trying to get that, I don't want to say motivation, but that drive to get going.
Well, that's a good theme as well, in terms of, I think, a lot of us have been really shell-shocked over the past couple of weeks. That's been a theme in a lot of our calls. And I think, we're really encouraging people to take advantage of this time, but I know it can be really hard to find that motivation. So yeah, completely.
One of the things that I've done is really just, if I have an opportunity to reach out to someone, I do. When it comes to the travel community, I reach out to the DMOs, the photography accounts that I follow. If they make a comment on mine, or they make a really neat post that's what I would call, or what somebody else has called, the humanity plus, to highlight the good nature that's starting to get more and more traction, I give them a, hey, I'm still here. I'll be here when this is over.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you're still on. Like, I shared with one of my travel communities, and I'll finish with this, that Amsterdam, literally, they actually said, we're going to shut our Instagram down because we don't want to show frilly pictures of Amsterdam when you can't come to see Amsterdam. And then a few days later, I was scrolling through, and there was a new Amsterdam, and it said, due to popular request, we are going to continue.
Yeah.
So,
that's great. Actually, that's a really interesting point in terms of whether or not we should be kind of promoting that. And I'd love to hear people's opinions on whether or not it's appropriate to be encouraging people to dream about travel again, or if this is, too soon, which is, I suppose, fair. But I'll move on. Sorry, Fiona. I didn't catch where you're located. Hi.
I'm in Fremantle in Western Australia.
Welcome.
Yeah, we spoke probably a few years ago about YouLi. Yeah, and I'm just sort of tapping back into the community again. So I hope you don't mind me being here. Yeah, I find myself in a weird space in that I have my own business, Wild Awake, Transformative Travel. But it's kind of been put on ice over the last year because I took a full-time job also in the travel industry. yeah, long story, but so I found myself always yearning for my own business and all that comes with that, even the challenges. But I just got stood down from my full-time job. So now I have all this time and space again, even though it was travel related and I sort of felt all the impacts of that. I'm not trying to keep my own business afloat as such because it's just there. I'm really feeling this opportunity. Perhaps it's my opportunity to step back into my own business again with all this new thinking and chance for innovation that's coming in.
Yeah.
It's really, I feel in quite a weird space. So I'm trying to decide whether to take the risk with that. And this last week, joining in with conversations like this and just trying to get a feel for the pulse of what is the possibility. I know we don't know, it's so uncertain, but what is the possibility of how we can move forward, even if it's a completely different shape of what we know already, and what's everyone else doing, how can we support each other, and just finding solutions that we can sort of, potentially nurture forward. Well, so I'm kind of walking to
Sorry.
No, go.
I mean, it definitely feels like some of the biggest challenges that people are facing right now is really, in many ways, emotional, motivational. The lack of certainty makes it really hard to know, like, should I invest in figuring out virtual experiences, or should I launch a new thing into this, space where maybe I'll get attention because people are online all the time, and I think this is the nature of these kinds of events. It kind of brings up all this emotion and all this potential, but also all this uncertainty and fear. So, that's certainly what I feel like these meetings are about, is really hopefully inspiring people to hear whatever they need to hear. So if that's hearing that it's okay to pause, that's great. If it's hearing, yes, this is the time to relaunch, then that's great too.
So the virtual space interests me at the moment because part of what I was doing with my own tours is retreats. So, can I create some experiences online? They're never going to fill the space of being one-on-one in that space with people, because obviously you're working very personally with them, but can I meet that at some level? So I'm interested to just see what this conversation might kind of spark in that way. So awesome. You've already mentioned the word retreats already, so that's interesting.
Yeah, and actually virtual retreats is something that I've seen as the most active.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi is not great. I'm dropping in and out.
Oh no, yeah, we are burdening the NBN beyond its capability.
Yeah. My housemate is teaching art lessons over there, so I think we're competing for Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. Rationing internet. So thank you for joining. It's good to see you again after many years. I do hope that you get inspired, if not this month, in the months that come, to relaunch or to try some virtual experiences. So we're testing on a technology level, we're testing some alternative video platforms that are more suited to connection than Zoom. So as we work on that, we'll kind of try to roll those out, but it's still very early stages. The technology always takes longer than you think it should. Let's see, who have we not called on? Gina, would you like to do an introduction to the group?
Hi guys, so I'm Gina and I live in New Zealand here, just small part of the Coromandel, if anyone knows where that is. So I've got just a bit like Fiona, I've got a small business, solo women, Wanderlust Solo Women Tours. So it's small group tours and retreats for women. This time I should have been in Thailand hosting one over there. And in June I had another one in Bali, but obviously we can't do those. Very fortunate though that I've got a very supportive group of women that have been amazing, and I think that's that's the one clear thing I've seen out of this is the clients I have got have been very understanding, which really helps, I think, when it's stressful. Regarding the virtual retreats, I actually did Janine's Hall Escape Haven virtual retreat this last week because I just wanted to see the content and that she'd put in it. It was free because I've just done it was a trial run. But from a marketing perspective, I think it was a huge success for her. And from that, it's led on to their offering a 6-week experience, which you pay for. So if you're running a retreat that, say, does yoga, meditation, has wellness recipes, anything to do with well-being, it was definitely a platform that easily transferred over into a virtual, because everything was just on, you know, videos that they put up in a Facebook group, and then you could go into lives as well. So whether it's, yeah, and it's just putting a dollar value on that, that was probably the difference. But I still like personal connection.
Yeah. It's hard, yeah.
So even though the content might have been the same as you might have got when you were there, there's still that thing missing personally for me. And because my tours and retreats are more experiences, like I don't do workshops or anything, that's that bit that I don't think it's hard to replace. But I've seen a lot of virtual tours coming up at the moment. One I mentioned, I think, on Instagram to you was Gina Travel. They're going around a lot of worldwide, a lot of the local guides, and getting them to do short clips and videos to support, because there's a lot of small, you know, local guides and everything that are, and businesses that are really suffering. And so they're sharing their stories, which I thought was quite a cool idea.
Yeah, and actually I have heard that from other agents in Australia that have been trying to support their operators and try to find some way to get money to them. So if that's one of the ways that works for people, I think that's awesome. So you were saying that was that on Facebook, or what platform was that?
So that one's called Gem Track Travel. So they're sustainable travel, slow and sustainable travel. But there's a few. There's not in the guidebook, not in the guidebooks. They're another one doing the same sort of thing as well. But the more as the week, you know, days go by, I'm actually seeing more and more doing the same sort of content. Yeah. But what I have found this time is it's really good to engage with your community, especially if you're on Facebook or Instagram, and still stay connected with them. So I think that's really valuable right now personally, because you're still showing up, and, you know, they recognize that, you know, you're a person and you're going through stuff, and you get more of an authentic connection with your clients. Yeah, for sure. All right, we got a lot of people here, so I'm just gonna jump, let's see, who do we have? Chris, can we get an intro from you?
Yeah, hi. It's good to be here. Good to see you.
You too.
I was brought into the YouLi arena through Victoria, who's on here somewhere. She invited me out to play the sound baths and yoga nidra sessions at the Transformational Travel Gathering earlier this year. So I do basically breath work type retreats and explorations, combining sound baths and sound healing with yoga nidra, yogic sleep, stuff like that. So basically just creating these types of experiences that in the future I do want to offer as part of travel experiences and retreats that people go to, but I actually am just getting into offering all of this right now with COVID-19. And over the past 3 weeks, I've delved into all of the microphones that I need and everything that I need to do to start doing Facebook Live and to do Zoom meetings. I've had upwards of 25 people join in for sound baths / breath explorations. And I do, actually the reason I was late is I was just getting off of leading another breath exploration this evening for an hour. So, you know, I have kind of jumped into the technology that is available and been trying to build community, reached about 18,000 people through Facebook in a 2-week period, which there's just like a lot of people online right now. So like my thought process is just like really like go be present and just start putting stuff out there. I mean, I'm starting from nothing basically right now, and just going on and, you know, offering music and offering sessions and offering conversations. One of the really big things that I am starting to do last week, I was interviewed by another health coach, and we did it on Facebook Live through YouLive is the technology.
That's a good one.
It worked really, really well. We just had a great conversation, super like not incredibly professional or anything like that, but just a genuine conversation about what we do, about what we can offer. And you guys are all doing the transformation stuff, and you have techniques, you have little bits of wisdom and information that can help people during this time. So, you know, just go be authentic, be yourself, get out there, put some content out, and people see it and people start following you, and you can reach a lot of people right now because everybody's basically starved for connection, and we can start using technology to create that, and then later we can meet them in person.
Well, it's funny you say that. Actually, one of my mentors is actually a CEO of a big company, and normally wouldn't have this, but because of the unusual times, he's actually gotten somebody to lead virtual meditation every Friday in his company. Because he just feels like he needs to give them something to help soothe all the anxiety that everybody's sort of trying to process, and also kind of create a sense of connection even though everybody's working from home. So I think especially those people who are practicing, you know, breath and meditation and all that kind of stuff is really resonating a lot with people right now.
Totally.
Yeah.
And even just you talking about it reminds yourself to do it. I mean, take like, you know, 5 breaths in between one thing that you're doing and the next thing that you're doing, instead of just barreling forward like a growing snowball avalanche and end up at the end of the day going, what the hell did I do today? I did so many things that I have no idea what it was that I did. Never happens.
I thank you. I would love to talk to you more actually about sound baths and technology and microphones.
I'm also a Wim Hof instructor in training, if anybody knows what Wim Hof is at the moment. I got back from Poland in January, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Just in time. Well done.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris. I'm going to ask Anna to introduce yourself. Hello.
Hi. Hello. My name is Anna. I am in India. So I live in India since 11 years ago, but I'm from Barcelona, from Spain. So I run my own tour operator in experiential tourism, focused on responsible and sustainable tourism since 2011. The name is Open Eyes, the company name.
Open Eyes?
And Open Eyes, So we organize tours for people to come to India, but in a very special way. So we train communities to be part of the experiences. We really also train women to be part of our experiences, local women. So we train women to become guides, female guides. We work with women drivers. So we create all that holistic approach for people to have that experience in India, So now, of course, has become a very interesting. I'm also a teacher in the university in Barcelona since 4 years ago. And now I'm more into the part of regenerative tourism, where we can really give another step to sustainability, which I think it's really, really required right now. We really need to we have to go beyond sustainability. There is something which doesn't work. So going beyond that is what really is our interest, our mission, we can say. And about virtual tours, what I should say, I have put a lot of resistance. Last year, I put a lot of resistance to go beyond, to go really, mix technology, innovation, and tourism. But now I feel that is the time. I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to start from. I don't know exactly. I don't really think that virtual tours will substitute the normal tours at all. at all. That cannot happen. The only thing, I think it will be a new vertical, you know, it will be a new product. I see it in that way. It will be a new product for us, that we work in tourism. Yeah, so it will be a new product that we need to work. So my motivation is how we can involve the intelligence of the heart, neuroscience techniques, integrated in tourism. Now it's our mission how we can really put that also in one experience in tourism, and we are combining all of that right now. And yes, and we are planning to be part of the TTC also, so that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
I knew you about them.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what the Transformational Travel Council is, it's an incredible organization. You should definitely check it out. So transformational.travel. It's a community of beautiful souls like Chris and Anna and Vika and Kenny. I think I'm sorry if I'm missing some of you. But yeah, just really focused on creating travel experiences that are transformational for the travelers as well as the communities that they visit. So yeah, and I think that's one of the sort of positive sides that I've been starting to pick up on that theme as people are kind of recovering from the shock is like, okay, you know, a shakeup like this creates some huge opportunity as the tourism industry has to remake itself. Can we nudge it to remake itself as a more regenerative force, as a more positive force? So I love that that's where you're already there and thinking about that. That's so great. And I completely agree with you on the virtual side. I think it's an extra. And it sounds like, Anna, you need to join one of Chris's sessions, I think. and see what he's doing and see what you get inspired by. Because I do think it's a personality thing. I don't like there is technology there, but I think it's about how you weave your personality into the technology and make it work for your brand and for your community. So I think it is very much an artistic exercise. And also, yeah, guys, as I have you introduce yourself, please put your information in the chat so that people can reference that, and we'll share it around afterwards as well. So, all right, who else? Who have I missed? Karen, I see you've joined. Hello, Karen.
Hi.
Hey. Want to do a quick intro for the group?
Yeah. I'm Karen Haranis. I run Rare Air Himalayan Travel. We specialize in trips to Bhutan, beautiful Bhutan. Right next to India, actually.
And so we were just talking about, you know, sort of whether or not to kind of add on the virtual experience side of things. Have you done any more exploration since we last talked? Or are you perfectly happy to just...
I'm perfectly happy to just wait out the big storm and just go back to the real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting, especially thinking about like the experience of being in a mountainous place like Bhutan. Yeah, like, because it is that epic landscape, like it is so contextual. So yeah. And I don't know if any of you guys saw my post recently on LinkedIn, but I was sort of just coming back to, I climbed Kilimanjaro a couple of years ago, and just that summit night of like being at that altitude and just really struggling through that, it just sort of reminded me of this kind of moment. It's sort of my metaphor. Like we got up at midnight and walked in the dark for 6 hours. We had no idea where we were going. And we were exhausted and hungry and couldn't feel our fingers and toes. And somehow I managed to make it to the rim, and the sun hit me, and I was like, I can live again. I can feel my fingers and toes again. And it sort of, you know, like woke me up from this like stupor that I was in. But then I still had another 8 hours of walking that I had to do. And the whole time I just sort of felt like, this is impossible. This is insane. What am I doing? I'm not, you know, and I think back on that time, and it kind of helps me ground myself in times like this, when I sort of got all these things in my mind. And all right, I'm in my 6 hours of darkness right now. I don't know what's ahead of me. I just have to take one step, one step, one step. And at some point I'm going to see the sun. And I think for us, that's going to be when restrictions start lifting. We're going to feel that sunlight, and we're going to get hopeful. And we can start planning. We can start thinking like, okay, yes, there will be an end to this. but then we'll still have more work to do and sort of, you know, another 8 hours of walking to do. But that's been something that sort of helped me kind of reframe this. And to me, that's kind of the power of experiences like that, when you go into these places that really challenge you and put you in a different frame of mind. You can sort of take yourself back there sometimes and use them in your day-to-day life. Has anyone else had this experience? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured. So let's see. We've
Climbed
got
a lot of hills and mountains and things in my time. So
yeah. Right. So we've got some other people on the line who don't have their cameras on. Does anyone want to speak that hasn't introduced? Oh, hello. We have Andrew.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, welcome.
I have been working while we've been listening, so that's why I had my camera off, so apologies. But hello everyone. So I'm calling in from Great Ocean Road in Victoria, but I also work for the State Tourism Organisation, or DMO, Visit Victoria, so a very different lens to some of you. But yeah, really enjoying the conversation so far. Like you guys, we've got the challenge of marketing a destination in its own right at the moment, and yeah, it's been interesting to sort of hear the discussions around sentiments, and that's something that we've been keeping an eye on. How far can we push that marketing of don't travel now, but you know, think of us when you do. So yeah, it's really a fascinating space to play in with the virtual content as well, and a number of operators that are doing that really well. But yeah, that's why I'm here, sort of to be all ears and see what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, well, actually, one of the questions that I had when I first launched these, when the crisis hit, was a question about whether or not people wanted to sell credits. Like, so instead of selling for now, selling for the future, you know, because I've heard people say, you know, sometimes half the fun of travel is like just looking forward to it. And so people might appreciate sort of knowing that they're going to go. They just don't know when they're going to go. But the resounding answer I got 2 weeks ago was no. We're not selling credits. You know, people aren't, that's inappropriate. No one's going to buy them. So I'll ask the question again. Is anyone feeling like that sentiment might be shifting, that you could actually start selling the dream or the credits rather than specific dates?
I'm not sure the trust is there yet.
no.
Yeah.
We've got a while to go before people trust the industry again and trust the world again, that they can move around and know that it's all okay. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to come from that fear space in everything I'm deciding and doing and trying to evolve here. But I think at the moment, the trust is just not there yet.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I think the headspace isn't there either. I think
No.
I think Chris said it earlier, and I think I really resonated with me, is what did I do today? What did I actually achieve? I can't even remember what I did. For real, right? Like that is exactly our day-to-day at the moment, which is one day at a time, looking forward to maybe a beer or a wine at knockoff or at the end of the day, just to sort of go, yep, one more down.
Andrews needs to go to one of Chris's sessions as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kenny, did you?
I have one on Saturday.
Cool.
Well, we'll definitely send out the link in the notes. Kenny, did you want to say something? Oops, we're playing mute games.
Sorry. No, I was just, you know, talking with the safe conversation. That's what I've been saying ever since this started, was that the travel industry is going to have to prove it's safe again. Whether it's, you know, when I first started traveling, everyone was saying, oh, are you sure you want to go to Europe? Because they had this idea that I was going to get at a airport in, say, Belgium, and there was going to be a terrorist attack. The safety concern will shift from that to, is it safe because of the virus? And I put in chat that epicenters like Italy, Rome will always have that draw, Venice will always attract people, but Italy will have to prove as a former epicenter that it's safe. They'll always have, there's going to be a little bit of hesitation there. So that's what I was
See, so my curiosity on that would be, is that a huge opportunity for organizations like you guys, because you build this trust with your communities, that people aren't going to book into Rome. They're going to book into Rome running with George, right? Because they're going to count on George to be the one who tells them, look, I wouldn't be taking you to Rome if it wasn't okay. I wouldn't be going if it wasn't okay. Whereas maybe before, people would have just gone to Rome because, like, why do you need to be guided to go to Rome, right? So I'm curious if you guys are feeling like there might be more opportunity for people to kind of be that trusted guide in this new world.
When I don't want to monopolize, when I made that comment about London earlier, that's how I do my travel, is I try to redefine or help redefine the location. So like Chris said he was in Poland. When I went to Poland in January of last year of 2019, I went specifically to see what was there besides Auschwitz, because here in the US, you hear Poland, you think of one thing, the Holocaust. And I wanted to show my readers and those that would find me afterwards that there was something else to Poland than death and destruction, and help facilitate that shift.
Yeah.
So when I say there's a fear factor that they'll have to, I see that as a tremendous opportunity for someone like me who has that goal.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I also wonder if there's an opportunity here, not necessarily to prove, but I wonder if the first wave of people are going to be those adventurous souls that are like, I want to go to Venice when there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and it's almost like I was saying to Karen the other day, it's like the whole world will become Bhutan with like a limited number of travelers, right? and I feel like that's your first wave, right? Is like that adventurous spirit. You know, you're not going after the people who need to have it proven to them. You're going after the people who are thinking, well, as soon as you tell me it's okay, I want to go because I want to be the first one there. Is that the vibe that people are kind of feeling, or is that a strange thought?
Yeah, I think so. All my friends who are in the industry or, you know, are just feeling completely deprived at the moment are like the risk takers. They're like, no, as soon as those gates open, we're out. Yeah. So I think there's definitely an element of truth in that. And I think as a guide, there's always a certain level of what you're talking about happening anyway, where they wouldn't quite do it all on their own. So they just want that last bit, you know, that security of not handhold, but having someone there to take them that last little peg. So, yeah. But how to get that message across without sounding condescending or, yeah.
Or threatening, right? You want to sort of
that assurance.
I think it's appealing to those who are adventurous but want to be adventurous together, right? I think maybe it's that sense of, you know, you want to be the first one to do this, but you know, you don't want to do it alone, kind of thing. So, but yeah, I think that's a great question, and but to me, that's what's interesting about this moment right now is you can start putting messages out there and start testing those things. And I think to Andrew's point, like, when can we market again and how do we do that, right? But I think the answer is just keep asking and just keep sort of like testing a little bit. So I'm always a fan of, you know, don't think too hard for too long. Take a little chance. You know, don't bet everything. Like, don't launch a massive campaign around it, but just try some ideas, right? On that point, actually, here I'll try an idea on you guys. So I have had a lot of anxious energy, and with that anxious energy, I have created a parody of the song Africa. So does everyone know the song Africa?
Yes.
Yes. Karen has clearly tried to sing this song before and failed like many of us.
We did it in choir last year.
It's hard, right? It's a very hard song. So I rewrote the lyrics just having fun. One of my favorite lyrics is, stay home, boy, it isn't just the flu. But I'm not trying to hit the notes because I can't. Turns out that's a really hard song to sing. So it has taken me a while to find a lead vocalist, but I have succeeded. And I actually have an audio track of a parody of Africa, including things like "There's a lockdown keeping me away from you," and things like that. So I would love to send this out to you guys. And if anybody feels inspired to do a lip sync video and send it back to us, I will send along my lip sync video so that you can be inspired by my silliness. And feel free to send one back or just enjoy my silliness. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're playing around with. Because, you know, it's marketing, but look, you know, we know nobody's, you know, we're just here to connect, right? We're just here. Like, I forget who said it. We just want to be present for you guys, and we want to, you know, spread as much hope and joy with you as possible. And that's really our goal right now. So on that point, gosh, how many people have I missed? Erin.
Hello.
Hey, can you introduce
Hi,
yourself?
this is my first time joining anything like this, actually, so thanks for having me. So I am based in London. I work at the Natural History Museum, so I'm in the digital content team there. So it's a very interesting time. In terms of, so I'm within the visit team as well, so we've had to a little bit in terms of, instead of trying to get people into the museum, given that we're closed, spinning to an online offer. So the whole virtual museum and try it at home, there are two sort of focus at the moment. So I pulled together a page about a week or so ago about the virtual museum and ways people can explore the museum online, and it's our best performing page for the last week. So there's definitely demand there for that. And then our other offer being the try it at home, so lots of activities, a lot of it's for families and kids.
Yes.
Especially over Easter and during the school holidays while school isn't on. So yeah, they're sort of the two main streams that we're sort of focusing on at the moment. And we've been in a really good position in the sense that we had a lot of that content before. So it hasn't been too much of a mad scramble to get this content up, which is, yeah, really lucky for us. So yeah, it's sort of just things by ear at the moment, but for the most part, people really are engaging with us. So.
And are you able to monetize that, or is that still free content?
No, it's all free. Yeah, so we're a charity ourselves. So we, so we have a commercial team as well. So, you know, we have commercial events and everything that we would normally offer. So we are lacking in that sense, but yeah, we're sort of a non-governmental body, I think is the technical term for it, but also a charity as well. So it's a bit of a balance between the free and paid sort of thing, but for the most part everything is free at the moment. We take donations and that, so we are like a charity in that sense.
Yep.
But yeah, pretty much all their content's free.
Yeah. And so, well, I feel like I have a million questions for you, but running out of time, so I'm gonna jump to make sure I get everybody introduced. Sorry, Nishant? Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm saying.
Yeah, Nishant's fine.
Yeah? Hi, welcome.
Thank you. So I got to know about this little meeting via TTC, of course. I'm doing the design program. I'm in Bombay. At the moment, I'm working as a content curator, product head for a luxury travel design firm. But obviously I want to move forward. So just listening to everyone, I just wanted to listen in more than anything else, get some views. We're doing some things on Instagram to keep the content going, doing various stories where we're teaming up with our partners, trying to get masterclasses and things like that, going to keep our viewers engaged, of course. Surprisingly, we already have from about end September onwards, we have inquiries for end September for travel. We have people who are looking to book for 2021.
Yes.
Couples, these are young couples who are, they're aiming to get married in October and then go off for their honeymoons and the like. Not necessarily the most adventurous of people, but I guess they just don't want to give up on that. So it's nice to have people who are that positive. But then again, I do believe we need to, trust is something that we do need to build, because tomorrow you don't want someone heading out and then turning around and saying, you know what, we listened to you, we went, and now we're a bit scared being here. I don't know. There are going to be various things that are going to happen. So I think right now is a great time to build trust, build new content, look at things from a new perspective. I think that's very important. And in doing that, make our audience think from a new perspective, because there's a lot more that the world needs right now than just going and traveling and, seeing the world. As we've been, when you have discussions with the TTC team, you do realize how important intent is. And I think that is very important right now. Yeah. That said, what I do see as a trend, at least in India, would be a lot of bonding trips, a lot of family trips, a lot of local trips that will open out, because obviously within India, travel will probably open out faster. I also think India will be probably able to pull things together a little faster, because we have people who are there at smaller resorts, at smaller boutique hotels, easily available and ready to work. So that kind of, coming back to work, coming back to business would probably be quicker. There would be a lot of road trips that would happen. So when it comes to virtual tours and virtual experiences, I think they would just be more like a building block. Although I would say another thing, things like wellness and yoga and even music therapy and things like that would probably do really well online. I have a friend who has an institution called 1000 Petals in Bangalore, in Mumbai, and in Delhi. And he does the Lucia light therapy and flotation. I don't know if everyone has heard about the Lucia light. It's about your third eye, focusing strobing light on your third eye while you listen to ambient sounds. And it kind of makes you travel. I've done it twice. And I was very skeptical, but it's been a great experience. So I literally traveled. Like I was above the clouds, looking at spires and things like that at some point. I mean, I have friends who compare it to all sorts of highs, but so things like that would do well. They're doing a lot of art therapy and things like that online. Those things I think would do well. People would probably pay for it and things like that. But when it comes to specifically travel related content, I'm still a bit, that personal connection over there would, you need to be there experiencing it. Yeah. Whether it's a glass of wine or whether it's, sitting there with clay, you need to be.
No, I completely agree. And I think everybody who is in travel, just at a deep level, knows that even if they do take on some virtual experiences right now, it's just a stopgap. And to Anna's point, maybe it's an extra product line that they'll keep, as part of their marketing funnel or something like that. But, it can't replace what the real world experience is. And I think that's also what gives me hope, that it'll come back, because we want it so much. I think the world will make this happen. And as I was saying to somebody recently, even if that means that I install an app on my phone that tracks every location that I go so that I am a safe traveler, I'm like, you know what, if that's what's going to open the world, I might accept that, if it's that or, trapped in my box for the rest of, for the next 2 years or something. So, all right, I think we have one more person, Ruth. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi. Can you see me? Yeah. Hi. I'm Ruth, and this is my first time on this call. with Wonderful, I found out about this.
Yeah.
And I am, so I was supposed to go to Italy tomorrow for 2 weeks.
Oh.
And I have a project. I know it was canceled, British Airways, whatever. Once there was like 15,000 cases in Italy in early March. It was like, I don't think I'm going to go. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. So it is what it is. And so one of the reasons I was going is a project that I've been doing for many years, and I now have a YouTube channel, is where I travel around the world and learn how to cook in people's homes. And, you know, I haven't posted a video in about a year, and I just felt like so many people are doing that. They're really traveling and filming. Why would anyone be interested in my footage? And what I do, the last trip I did was to either Russia or Japan, and I find a family, cook, and then come back and make it in my kitchen. And so I was thinking of offering that to people. I was interested in this webinar because I guess because there is this topic for webinar, that means there is a need that could be filled, because the premise for me always was, I just went on a cool trip. Do you want to taste it?
Yeah.
Just something to bring back filled with stories and for people to experience that in their homes, you know, because there are lots of people who are afraid of the food and afraid of travel. So one of the reasons I'm here is just to hear the conversation, because I was thinking of, especially, I don't remember the woman's name, but there are Italian museums who also have virtual, you know, tours that you can have. And I'm just thinking of, why don't I go to Italy anyway? And I'm actually taking a cooking class with a nonna online to make pasta the 22nd. And I'm interested because she does Airbnb experiences, but because no one's going to Italy, she put it online. And so I'm interested in seeing what her business model is, and see if somehow I can offer that to people, but beyond the food and the museum, and just sort of just share. Like, we can't go, it's the truth. But just like, you know, virtual sex or any virtual relationship you want to have, right? Because people are doing it.
Yeah.
That's the best we've got right now. So make the most of it. And so it's pretty much like, oh, I can even dig up some old footage of meals. Like, hey, let's make our kitchens, you know, our meals interesting.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, this is the exact time to try to launch something like that. I think it creates an opportunity for you. Unfortunately, we're kind of at the end of time, and I see some people have already dropped off. Ruth, sorry we got to you kind of late.
That's fine.
Would love to connect with you and share some stories of some other people I think you should talk to. So so let's definitely connect. And oh yeah, and Sarah Funky, or actually her name is Sarah Funk, but I think her travel company is Sarah Funky or something. I mix it up. Anyway, she does a really great job of doing content on YouTube, which then leads people to ultimately book tours with her. And of course, so right now she's just getting donations from her content. So she was really inspiring last week. I'd recommend checking her channel out.
Thank you.
But yeah, and you know, so we're continuing to evolve as all of you are. I really hope we spark some connections. I hope everybody goes to one of Chris's sessions because that sounds lovely. I think everyone should check out transformational.travel if you haven't already, to connect into that community as well. And yeah, we're here. We provide software. If you want to use this time to work on your tech stack, please feel free to get in touch with us. And yeah, stay well and keep dreaming, and hopefully we'll catch you on another call.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, everybody.